Hi, I'm Bill White. I'm the chairman of LinSpeed Incorporated. I make GB LinSpeed Finish and Care Oil, the oil finish trusted worldwide since 1950. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to refinish this gun stock and introduce a brand new product to the GB LinSpeed. Today we're going to be working on this Mossberg Model 42B I picked up at a local gun shop recently. I thought the figure of the wood looked nice, so I thought it was a good candidate for a refinish, and it was relatively inexpensive. Here we have an older Ithaca with a nice case hardening receiver, but of course the stock didn't look so good. The gummed up checkering and the darkened woodwork, and I thought that was a great candidate, and lo and behold it sure was. Look at the figure of that. That's just after stripping it down with ordinary stripper, cleaning out the checkering with a brass brush, and applying 3 to 4 coats of LinSpeed oil. In order to accomplish what we've got here, you're going to need just a few simple things. Some paint remover, or you can even use oven cleaner. A little bit of 000 steel wool, you need a nice stack of those. A couple of brushes here to apply the paint stripper. If you've got checkering, you'll need a brass brush, and then on the inletted areas you'll want to use a brush to paint the LinSpeed inside, and then dab that clear once that's set up. And so I guess let's just go ahead and get started on stripping this piece down. The best thing to do when you're going to refinish a rifle is to take all the metal parts off, and definitely take all the plastic parts off, because they'll melt when you use the stripper. Alright, we're back. I've stripped the Mossberg of all of its metal and plastic parts, but I just wanted to show you the grain revelation that LinSpeed affords. This is a before and an after, and you can see how you can almost see into the wood. It's quite beautiful. That's what I'm hoping to get out of this Mossberg. Okay, now what we're going to do is take the paint stripper, put a little bit on the brush here, and paint it liberally on in one direction. And it's going to do its thing and remove this old finish. Hi, here we are. We're taking a look at the gun now that it's sat for a while, and put gloves on to protect my hands from the stripper. Take 000 steel wool and start rubbing off the finish, and you can see how it's coming off quite nicely. We're going to have a nice piece of wood here when we're done. Okay, I've completed this side more or less. We may want to put a little more down here and work a little bit more on that, get some more of the stain out. And now I'm just going to work on the other side and paint that up with the paint stripper, and we'll meet you back here when that gets done. Now we're getting real close to being done stripping this stock. And as you can see, a couple of tough spots. You got to work at it a little bit. You can see on the older gun it had one time had a sling. It screwed here and here, but they were filled. And that's not going to deter from the look of the rifle at all, really. So just showing a little bit of the elbow grease that goes into this. It's not terribly difficult. The rewards will be great once you're finished. Now we've cleaned off the stock, and we've gotten the lion's share of the old stain out of the stock. And I'll hit it with a little lighter fluid now and try to clean it out as even better, get it nice and dry. Well, okay, we've wiped down the piece with some lighter fluid and got it nice and dry and clean. And just notice that there's a couple of pieces here. We got a little crack along here that appears to be repaired. It's not loose at all. And then we've got these two holes that were drilled for a sling at one time. And although the wood does look quite nice, I think we want to try to put a little cover up on that, and we'll use Bellons. They make a great stain. It's actually kind of a dye, and it really stains, so you'll want to have gloves when you use this. But the nice thing about it is that if you think you've made it too dark, it's easy to take down with a little alcohol. So here we go. On the pad. And another nice thing about it is that each successive coat gets a little bit darker. You can see how it adds such nice color, covers up a lot of the blemishes that you might otherwise have jumped out at you. And another nice thing about Bellons is that it dries in about 5 minutes for another recoat, because it is alcohol based. One downside to the Bellons is that although it dries quickly and covers nicely, that the mineral spirits in LinSpeed will take off some of the finish. So you'll want to make it a little darker than you expect to want to have the piece, and then work your way back from there. So there's a nice coat of Bellons. It brought out the grain quite nicely, and we'll give that about 5 minutes, and then we'll put another coat on. Putting about a third coat on now, and you can see that the grain is really coming alive. Now it's going to fade away because Bellons is alcohol based, so it's going to dry matte. But when we put the LinSpeed on, you can see the effect it's going to have on this piece. The grain is just going to come alive. Okay, now that we're getting close to being finished with the project, except for the LinSpeed finish, I just want to remind everyone to be careful with all these products that we've got over here. Follow the labels on the instructions, and don't hurt yourselves. Okay, LinSpeed, here we go. The jar of the world famous. Okay. Now it's very easy to do. You can either use an eyedropper or the old conventional method. Just dip the tip of your finger in the jar and start to move it around the stock. Push it down and smooth with the palm. Again. It's as simple as that. And you want to use so little, just coating the surface of the wood really. It's going to soak into the pores, become one with the wood and harden, and that's going to be the finish. The wood itself is going to become the finish. Just a teeny bit, probably about 4 or 5 finger dunks for this whole long gun. See the grain of the wood come alive as the LinSpeed goes on. And that's just going to richen with each successive coat. Here we go, we've finished one coat of LinSpeed, and it's a very, very thin coat, and we can let that set overnight, or for 2 to 6 hours. And then after that, you're going to put another coat right on top of that. Let that set up 2 to 6 hours or overnight. And then you're going to take your 000 steel wool. You can either dip it in the LinSpeed, put a little bit of that, or you can use the ordinary boiled linseed oil. This is far cheaper and works just as effectively. So you'll dip the pad in that, lubricate the pad, take down the finish all the way down to the wood again, because this finish does not build up on the wood. It's meant to be one with the wood, with the 2 final very thin coats. That's what's nice about it, because when you take your gun in the field and you scuff it or scratch it, all you're going to need to do when you get back in is dip your finger in the LinSpeed and smooth it out, and that scratch is going to be gone. And that's pretty much how we do this. We're going to do dual coats, take them down in between, and then when you're happy with the way your gun looks, you can stop and let her set up, and about 7 to 10 days later, you're going to have a really seasoned, hardened finish and a beautiful gun.